Yo, yo, yo. It's official. I am a single man again. Today is the day that me and my past lover decided that we're gonna be single. At the end of the day, it was a mutual decision. It's not what I wanted per se. So what I mean by that, it was her idea, but I totally can understand her side of it, and I can definitely see the benefits for me not having that attachment anymore. And looking on the bright side of things, we were together not together, I don't want to say together, but we were lovers, we were in a romantic partnership for almost a year and a half, and it was really my first, serious, long-term relationship with anyone. So it was a great experience, and I never would have imagined that my first serious relationship would last that long, because most first relationships that I've seen have lasted like a month or two, because something inevitably goes wrong and someone lashes out because people are young and they don't know how to deal with relationship issues yet. But we had a great relationship. It was very peaceful, very loving. We were very kind to each other. We treated each other with respect, and our life paths are just separating. We're going in different directions at this point. And although it's kind of sad, and it does suck a little bit, because I think we really had a good thing. That's life. And there were times in the relationship where I was so happy with her that I thought, I don't want to be with anyone else. I just want to stay with her the rest of my life. But I'm starting to realize, as you grow up, you kind of realize that sometimes things like this are just out of your control. Like, you're just going to end up with somebody. You don't really get to choose. I mean, you choose in a sense, but it's still kind of random who you end up with. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know when you're going to meet them. You don't know, like what happened to me, for example. You don't know when the other person is going to change their mind about it. And obviously you can't control another person. You can't make their mind up for them. So you just never know what's going to happen. And I was actually just at my aunt's house, and she recited a very interesting quote, which is, life is like standing in a river. Nothing stays still, and everything is moving around you. And it's interesting that she told me that, because literally right before I went to her house, I had a conversation with this girl that I've been with, or this woman, I should say. She's very mature, and that's we've been talking about the state of it for a while, and we have been growing apart, it seems like. So it's not like this was a sudden death. This was definitely a slow, gradual death that was towards the end kind of expected. But today was the day that we officially sealed the deal, at least for now. There's another part of not knowing what life holds, is that you may be with someone and then you separate, and then you come back to that person after you've met some other people and realize the value of the other person. You kind of regain that inspiration to be with them. So you never know. And we've agreed to stay friends. we're gonna. I don't see why we shouldn't be friends. We get along well. We have similar interests. We like to discuss similar things. We're both very philosophical and spiritual, but also we like to talk about in academic, intelligent topics. We also both love traveling and reading, and we mesh well together. So we don't have to be lovers. We can still just be friends and still have a nice relationship, a nice friendship. So, and I still love her as just the person she is, and I still care about her, and I don't think that'll change. I hope it never changes. I hope that we're close friends and that we care for each other forever. Like I said, you never know with what's going to happen in life, so maybe we'll grow distant and maybe we'll lose touch, but I certainly hope not, because she's a really amazing person. And she probably won't end up being my wife, but I can definitely say with certainty that I hope my wife has a lot of the same characteristics that she has, because man, I definitely lucked out with her. It was an incredible opportunity to have her in my life for such a long period of time, and be such an intimate partner. I've definitely learned a lot from her. She changed my life. Became far more spiritual, far more in touch with my emotions, far more just aware and mindful. She basically introduced me to the concept of meditation and yoga and mindfulness. Like, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have even taken the meditation class I took this past semester with a Buddhist monk as the professor. And that class alone was life-changing. And if it wasn't for her, it was her idea to join that class, and I just kind of followed along. Like, yeah, this looks cool. So, yeah, I'm greatly appreciative of the time we had together, and of any time that we have in the future together too. And so I also just got back from my aunt's house. Well, I've almost gotten back to my aunt's house. We had dinner and discussed some plans for the future, because I was going to study in Istanbul, but because of the dangers and the terrorism attacks, it seems like I have to transfer to another school in England. I think I'll probably be attending University of East Anglia, which is in a really cool location in Norwich. And I'm really excited about it still. I want to go to Istanbul, and I wanted to go to Koç University, and I still do more than anything else, but I think the smarter decision, so that I don't miss out on a year of study abroad, is to just take the safer option, which is England. And it's safer in both ways. It's safer in the sense that it's less dangerous, but it's also safer in the sense that I'm not risking, committing to a university and then, having Turkey get so dangerous that I can't go anywhere, and then I've lost my opportunity to go to England also. So it just seems, it seems smarter and wiser to take the safe option that is a sure thing, and not risk being stranded without anywhere to go for school for a semester, or having to go back to New Orleans, which is fine. I love New Orleans, but I definitely am ready for a change, a new school, a new environment, a new student body, just a new everything. I really like changing up my life every year, 2 or 3, just to mix things up a little bit, especially because I'm young and I'm still trying to figure out who I am and who I want to be and how I want to live and where I want to live, which is why this relationship coming to an end, I don't think it's so bad after all, because this is just a new phase, it's a new chapter, and it had to come at some point, and I'm sure I'm gonna learn a lot about being single again after, because it's gonna be interesting, like being single or being in a relationship for a year and a half almost, and kind of learning all about love and companionship and partnership and just being in a romantic relationship. It's a hard and confusing thing, but it's also so rewarding, which is one of the reasons why, because I loved being in a relationship, as opposed to being single. I thought it was very special, and I liked it far more than being single. But like I said, she doesn't want to be in a relationship anymore, and I can't make her mind up for her, so just gonna accept my circumstances and gonna be single again. And honestly, I'm single, but I'm not really looking. I'm not looking for anything serious, at least. Doesn't mean I can't be romantic, but I definitely don't. I'm not in the mood right now to be in anything serious, because even though I am I feel okay, I'm not crushed by this relationship ending, I am still I feel like I need to gain some energy back, and I feel like I need to focus on myself more after just this past year and a half of giving a lot of thought and energy and time into this woman that I really loved and still love. And now I think now it's time to step back and analyze my own life and be a little selfish, not in a negative way, but just focus on myself more. People take selfish as a negative word, but I think it can be used in a positive way too. If you're being selfish, you can do it in a positive way where you're just working on yourself. You're giving most of your time and energy and thought into yourself and developing yourself to a larger extent. So today marks a new chapter, and I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to go to most likely England, study there for a year, travel around Africa and Europe and Asia, and then go back to New Orleans for one more year of college, and then I'm free. Then I'm free from education.